Does offensive awareness and defensive awareness matter in EA's NHL 24? That's what we're going to find out today. To test this, we're going to be doing a full season sim with two different teams. We have the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. Florida has max offensive and defensive awareness, and then Edmonton has the lowest defensive and offensive awareness. We're going to be simming one full season with injuries turned off, no trades, to see which team sims better, which I think Florida obviously should sim better. And then we're going to be doing a game when they verse each other to see in-game, which is the real question for me, which team is going to win in-game. So I'll show you the teams here. Obviously, Florida is going to be absolutely stacked. Offensive and defensive awareness does affect the overall rating by a lot. So you can just see the team is completely stacked. And I'll just show you based off one player. You can see maxed offensive awareness and maxed defensive awareness as well. So obviously all the forwards have that, as well as all of the defensemen. In net, I didn't touch it. We're going to be going with this. In terms of the simulation and the game, it shouldn't matter too much because at the end of the day, we're trying to see if there's a big difference. Obviously, going from maxed out to the lowest possible offensive defensive awareness, there should be a bit of a gap there. So we should be able to tell whether or not it matters no matter what teams we go with. I went with Edmonton and Florida, obviously, since they were in the Stanley Cup final, to try and make it as fair as we can. So I'll show you the Edmonton team here now. So as you can see here with Edmonton, they're all in the high 60s to low 60s. Like I said, offensive and defensive awareness affects the overall rating by a lot. I'll just show you right here with McDavid. Obviously shouldn't be a 69 overall, but with 36 offensive awareness and 36 defensive awareness, it's going to affect your overall by quite a bit. So again, all the forwards have that, all the defensemen as well have that. Arguably, Darnell Nurse is at the rating he should be. And then if we go to the goaltending, like I said, didn't touch it. So we're going to be going into the sim with these lineups. So like I said, first thing we're going to do is sim to the very first game where Florida and Edmonton versus each other, and then we're going to see what the records are at that game, see how they play in game, and then from there we're going to go on and do the rest of the season. So we'll come back when we get there. So as you can see, we're at the Florida versus Edmonton game. Florida is 18-6-5, while Edmonton is 7-16-4. Now honestly, I would expect Florida to do a bit better, but honestly, again, with the sim, you never know what you're going to get. And then on the opposite end, you would think Edmonton would be simming a bit worse, since their offensive and defensive awareness is essentially that of like a Pee-wee player. So we'll get into this game, and then this is, again, like I said, the thing I'm really curious about is how do the teams play against each other. So we're not going to select team, obviously. We're going to let the CPUs duke it out. You can see just the difference in the ratings. Obviously Florida's 100-192, and then Edmonton is 66-40-89. So we'll see how the CPUs duke it out. In terms of settings, I'm just going superstar, normal settings, no sliders, injuries off, like I said, and we're going to be doing 3-minute periods. So let's see how this goes. So I'm really interested to see if we'll notice a big difference in the gameplay or not. Like I said, I don't think we will, so let's just watch the game and see how this game plays out. Ooh, to Chuck. Passes it to nowhere. Maybe that's that low offensive awareness there. Now, Florida has gotten off to the better start here, though, but I don't feel like it's as big of a gap as it should be. What the hell is that? Yeah, all I'm really getting out of this is watching the AI play is interesting. How was that onside?
Huh?
Oh, Bennett gets in. So we're through the first period here. It is 1-0 Florida. Shots are 7-2. The game does look on paper pretty one-sided, but if you look at the time on attack and like watch the game like I have, it's looked very close. So to say that offensive defensive awareness matters in game, so far I have to say no, but we still have 2 periods to go, so maybe those will change my mind. Oh, dang. I think that was because Skinner was just low on stamina there. Yeah, Skinner was just completely lost there. The game is technically one-sided so far, but again, this isn't anything like we're talking about what should be Pee-wee intelligent players versus NHL experienced players, and the AI just doesn't look any different. Oh, okay, it's like, what are you doing? Why are you taking it to the backhand? You got a shot on net. Okay, so we're through 2 here. Shots are 15-4. It's 2-0 Florida. Time on attack is 418-302 in favor of Florida. It's very clear that Florida is playing better this far, but up to this point, maybe I can't say exactly that it doesn't matter, although I do believe offensive defensive awareness does not matter in game. We have to say that it doesn't matter all that much. And if you just look at the passing, you would think the passing rate for Edmonton would be much lower if they had no offensive awareness or defensive awareness, even with breakout passes. So far, visually, they don't look that far off, but Florida definitely is playing better. So we have one last period left to go. Maybe Edmonton can really show me that no, offensive defensive awareness does not matter in NHL. Oh, that was nasty. Forehand, backhand, forehand. Ooh, that was a good chance for Edmonton, maybe one of their better chances. Oh, another penalty. Oh, 4-0. Oh my god, 5-0.
Speed.
What is that? Oh, what a snipe by OVL. So I don't even know how to feel after that game. 6-0 for Florida, 27 shots to 10. Time on attack wasn't that far off and the passing was about even, but that definitely was a one-sided game. Early in the game, I definitely felt like there wasn't much of a difference, but as I really paid attention, I'm starting to think that there might be small positioning things going on that's causing Florida to get more opportunities, more shots, more goals. So I'm actually going to have to probably jump into another game and just watch it again to see if we can get a different result, because as of now I can't say for sure whether or not it matters in game. I still do think that if it does matter, it's not enough. But then it's hard to say that with a 6-0 win for Florida. But when you're talking about 90 overalls versus 60 overalls, you think it would be maybe even a bit more lopsided. But I don't even know. So we're going to have to jump into another game, it's looking like here. Okay, so we've reached the end of the season here. I actually realized I messed up because we didn't play the first game where the two teams met. We actually played the second game, which means they only versed 2 times in a season. So we lost the opportunity to do a second game. I'm going to have to jump into it after and play now and then figure out visually if we can figure something out from watching. In terms of how they sim like we expected, pretty obvious that it matters for the sim. Edmonton finished last in the entire league unless someone else did worse, which they should not have. So Edmonton 32nd in the league, only 18 wins, 56 losses for 44 points, goals for only 108 or 180 rather, and then 324 goals against. So just not a good season for Florida. We'll check out where they finished off. So they actually finished off second in the league. You would think they would finish first. I'm not too shocked that they didn't. I've seen it in the sim where having the better team doesn't always mean you'll finish first. So I'm not going to complain about that too much. We finished second in goals for, or I guess tied for third, or not tied, but third for goals. And we allow 342 goals against, which puts us in the top. I don't even see us. Wait, where are we? Actually about in the middle of the pack in terms of goals against. So nothing crazy there. So it's hard for me to say that the stat obviously matters on a grand scale, but in terms of maybe 10 overall, it doesn't seem like it means the absolute most, because you would think a team with 99 offensive awareness, 99 defensive awareness would be the best team for goals for and goals against, but that's not how it played out. So that's interesting in that regard. So I guess we could sim the rest of this and just see if Florida goes and takes home the cup and Florida goes and takes home the cup. So that's a bit more to be expected how the actual sim went. So now we need to check out another game and see if we can visually see whether or not it matters. Okay, like I said, we're in play now, no longer in the seasons mode, but it doesn't really matter. We got the Edmonton Oilers, the exact same team and lines, and the Florida Panthers, exact same team and lines. So once again, I'm just curious to see if we can get a more definitive answer for whether or not it matters in-game offensive defensive awareness. If anything interesting happens, I'll show you guys, but I'm more interested in the final result. So I'll see you guys then. Oh, you know, I'm actually starting to really question my process here, my thought process here, because I feel like visually it doesn't look that different between the two teams, but just looking at the plays like that, I haven't seen Edmonton really make those types of plays, and then Florida's been making a lot of those plays in this game and the last game. And then just like defensively and positioning wise, Florida's definitely been a bit better. There's been times where I'm just wondering what the Edmonton players are doing. So we're going to keep trucking through here, but I'm kind of having my mind changed here. I think it might matter. Okay, so we're through 1 in our second game here. The shots are 10-6 in favor of Florida. Again, time on attack is pretty similar, and even in this game, the shots are pretty similar, but I feel like it's been more clear this game that Florida is outplaying Edmonton. Edmonton, despite having 6 shots, they were really kind of just nothing, and these Florida chances have been really good. Oh, first goal for Edmonton as they tie this one up. Bouchard with a slap shot. It would be really interesting if Edmonton won this game, because I feel like I'm on this one side of the fence now where I think it matters, and then before I wasn't, and then it's like, is Edmonton going to change my mind here? Oh my god, Edmonton up by 1. Connor Brown, of all people, gives them the lead. How did this play out? Nice little slot shot here. A bit of a turnover, but a nice pass into the slot. It started off as a bit of an ugly play as Ekman Larsson picked it up, but Edmonton got it back and then got to the slot for Brown. Oh, and the Florida just comes back the other way. Florida just looks more elite out of the two teams. They've had so many good opportunities. I don't even know. Like, what a play. Like, Edmonton just isn't making these individual plays. Ooh, full goal off the face-off. But then again, I just feel like that play was due to the other stats. Far side, good shot. So we're through 2 here, and Edmonton just put up the best period that they did in these last 2 games. The shots are still in Florida's favor, but we see that Edmonton put up 3 goals this period and Florida put up 1. Time on attack is even. Passing is more in Florida's favor this time around, so we'll see what happens here in the third. Oh my god, Hyman. Okay, see, plays like that, those are the ones I feel like Edmonton was missing. Just right over the glove.
Get that glove on the puck, especially when it's a windmill.
Very nice shot by Hyman there. Ooh. Reinhardt with the big tip in front. Only a 1-goal game with about 40 seconds left in the game. Let's see if Florida can tie this up. Oh my god, they actually tied it. Sam Reinhardt, 2 goals in the last minute to tie it up. Oh my god, no way that's the goal. What an ugly goal. Who did it bounce? It just bounced off to Chuck? What even was this goal here? Barkov taking it on the left wing here. Shoots it right off the pads, or maybe off the stick. Skinner ends up hitting it towards the empty side of the net. And then what happens here? Chuck gets a stick on it for sure. But it looks like Drysdale put it in the net, maybe. It's hard to tell. It was either Drysdale or the Chuck there. Probably a bit of both. After the second game, 5-4 win for Florida in overtime. Edmonton chokes what was, a 4-2 lead. Shots were 27-17 in favor of Florida. Time on attack was relatively close. This time around, I did notice Edmonton's passing was a bit worse. And the big thing to notice here is 0-5 on the power play for Florida. Edmonton gets no power plays. I don't think they had a single power play in both games. They were giving up a lot of penalties, which I feel like is a sign of bad positioning, which would support the idea that offensive defensive awareness does matter. We have one last bonus test that I just want to quickly run up, and we'll see what happens with that. Okay, just a quick test I wanted to try. We're not going to do the whole game here, but I'm taking over Edmonton because I want to see if I notice low offensive defensive awareness with my AI teammates, as obviously I've used teams with high offensive defensive awareness. I mean, I've only been playing a little bit here, but honestly, I'm not really seeing a difference here. So let's get to the conclusion here. What are my thoughts? Well, I think there's 3 different aspects of this that you have to look at. Number 1 is the sim. Does offensive and defensive awareness matter for the sim? Absolutely. We saw Edmonton simmed like absolute garbage, and Florida simmed really well and ended up winning the Stanley Cup. The second question I have is, does it matter in terms of AI versus each other? Does it affect the AI? My answer for that is a little bit more unsure, but I think it is a yes. Florida did play better in both of the games. Now, the second game was closer, but Florida, for me, just looked like they had better chances. Edmonton managed to get a couple through in the second game, they just didn't have as many good opportunities. They were also giving up a lot of penalties, which I don't know if it's related to the offensive defensive awareness, but I have a theory that it is. The third thing we're looking at is what we just did here. Can you feel the difference when you play with the teams? And honestly, I did only play half a game, well, roughly a half as Edmonton and the other half as Florida. I didn't feel a difference. It felt pretty much the exact same. So in terms of playing, does it feel different? I'm going to have to go with a no. So to answer the broad question, does offensive awareness and defensive awareness matter in NHL 24? And the answer is, I guess, sorta. It depends on what you're looking at. My question is going to be, from this video, guys, what do you think? Talking about the three topics: sim, AI versus each other, and playing. Do you think offensive and defensive awareness makes a difference? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, of course, leave a like, subscribe, and until next time, guys, take care of yourselves.